Hey, I hope you guys are doing good today. We are going to be watching Casual Geographic, and this is 10 animals you definitely forgot existed. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff on here that I have absolutely no idea what they are or even knew of them, so I'm kind of looking forward to this one. I can't even come up with any predictions because I definitely do not know a whole lot of like obscure animal types, so I think this is going to be interesting. If you do get a chance, I'd appreciate if you can leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a bunch. And I will have Casual Geographic's video linked in my description below. So be sure to go and give him a subscribe, watch his videos, all that good stuff. He does an awesome job. But all right, let's see what's on this list of animals we definitely forgot existed. I wonder if there's going to be anything super cursed. I'm ready. Let's go.
Hi.
Oh,
Beep.
it's cute. Is that a Hyrax?
Quick question. What do you think is the most popular animal in the world? Well, I was curious, and after extensive research, I found a map. A world map that used Google Keyword Planner and cross-reference searches for 170 different animals across 180 countries to determine the most
Oh,
loved
wow.
animal in each country. For example, monkeys won over Australia, pandas have Indonesia in a chokehold, and apparently my mother country of Senegal loves hippos.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that that's where he's from. That's cool.
Have Indonesia in a chokehold, and apparently my mother country of Senegal loves hippos. No
Love
comment on that.
hippos.
But you want to know what the overwhelming favorite was? The runaway winner was, by far, the tiger, with 44 countries riding for them. At
Ah,
number 2 with 28 countries were hippos, proving that you gotta be famous to be infamous.
is that because of Mudang? It's because of Mudang. That's all Mudang's fault.
These were the top 10 animals according to this map. It's cool, but it's not perfect. The lion is the national animal for 19 different countries, a record, but they just barely made the top 10. But then this got me thinking, what about all those animals that don't get nearly enough talk time? Well, this video
True.
is for them. Here's 10 animals you either didn't know existed, forgot about, or that my personal bias wish we talked about more. And starting off is the maned wolf. It's one of those animals whose name does nothing for it, since it's not a wolf, not a fox, or even a Latin coyote in black knee-highs. Apparently, they're just themselves, and they are literally built different.
They are. I do remember one of the videos we watched, and I think it was him, and they did kind of go over this. They are cool. I really like these.
Knee-highs. Apparently, they're just themselves,
They're
and they are
cute.
literally built different. They're tall enough to look down on some Great Danes, but at about 50 pounds soaking wet, they're more in the weight class of a basset hound. How you can dwarf Scooby yet get bodied by Snoopy's depressed cousin is unconscionable, and virtually every picture of a maned wolf looks AI generated. It's a genetically
That is true. They do kind of look funky like that. Like they're not real or if like some like imaginary thing because their legs are so long compared to their bodies, but I like them. I think they're pretty. I think they're gorgeous.
cousin is unconscionable, and virtually every picture of a maned wolf looks AI generated. It's a genetically sequenced identity crisis, so it's only right that it sounds like one.
It sounds like a dog. It's like barking. I don't know if we saw that in that video of what they sound like. Oh yeah, we got this poor animal's got it's got so much going on here.
Like one.
I love it though. I love it. I'm gonna pet that
Is it
dog.
a roar? Is it a bark? Is it a cry for help or the damnation of a higher being? Nobody knows. Not even him. Also, you probably heard that the maned wolf smells like Snoop Dogg's salad. This is 100% true. In fact, they've even gotten some zoos raided by police looking for cannabis. But
Oh
all they found was
wow.
a canned mid-piss. If the canine family had a cookout, this ginger still puppy would be the one pulling up with veggie burgers.
That's so weird that they smell like weed. That's crazy. Oh, that is interesting. What an
If the canine
interesting
family had a cookout,
scent.
this ginger still puppy would be the one pulling up with veggie burgers. Most of a Maine wolf's grocery list includes fruits and veggies, with Lobera, aka the wolf's apple, getting its name from this portrait
Oh,
mode fox constantly eating it. They also made history as the first wild animal to be successfully treated through stem cell therapy after one got hit by a truck. All in all, I think they're
Oh,
pretty cool. I'd call them a
yeah.
dog that can't dog, but that's more accurate for the raccoon dog, another animal you probably forgot existed. Most people know about them from two things: the Tanuki suit from Mario, and their role
True.
in Japanese mythology as the Bakedanuki. And due to certain aspects of that myth and the fact that I'd like to stay monetized, that's all I'm gonna say about them. Because unlike them,
And thanks to you guys, now I know, and it makes things so much more disturbing for me now. So thank you. Thank you.
I don't have the balls to test guidelines. Raccoon dogs aren't even remotely related to raccoons and basically stole their entire flow through convergent evolution. Their
I love these little raccoon dogs though. These things are cute. I like them.
dogs aren't even remotely related to raccoons and basically stole their entire flow through convergent evolution. They're canines, meaning they sit at the same lunch table as wolves, dogs, and coyotes. But their closest cousins
Aww.
are foxes. Which reminds
Oh,
me, close your eyes. There's no jump scare coming, I swear. This will be fun. Just close them real quick. All right, everyone ready?
okay.
Okay.
My they're so cute.
That
Oh my god, I love these. I love the noises they make. There's some animal noises that I just like. I know some people probably hate them or think they're kind of cursed, but I kind of like animal noises. These are kind of cute. It's like chaotic and they sound like
that was not the
kind of sound like party horns or something like that, you know, like whatever those things are called. I love this.
That was not the sound of two clowns with marital issues. That was what a raccoon dog roll call sounds like. You see what I mean by the whole dog that can't really dog properly thing? They're the only
Yeah.
canines that hibernate. Seriously, they're the only one. They're
Oh.
that special. They can also climb trees, because of course they can. They're
How long do they hibernate for? Oh my god, this picture. I love it. I want one. I want one of these.
Seriously, they're the only one. They're that special. They can also climb trees, because of course they can. They're willing swimmers, because sounds about right. And they
Yep.
may or may not have been responsible for a certain virus putting the world on timeout. But considering the war crimes committed against them for their fur, I'm willing to look
Aw.
past it. There is no looking past this ET looking antelope. This is
Oh.
a saiga, and that is 100% unfiltered. They really
Saiga? Like the shotgun? I have never seen this one. This is definitely a new one. I've never seen this.
past this ET looking antelope. This is a saiga, and that is 100% unfiltered. They really do look
It looks like a Star Wars, like something out of Star Wars.
ET
love
looking
it.
antelope. This is a saiga, and that is 100% unfiltered. They really do look like Star Wars in the face. That
Oh,
sizable
yeah.
schnoz piece is designed to filter out the dust kicked up by a herd that used to be millions strong. It's like a built-in
Oh.
respirator that also makes them look like Alf's illegitimate child. I realize that's a dated
True.
reference, so here's Alf and here's a saiga.
Oh gosh, yeah. I guess there's probably a lot of people who don't know Alf. It's a shame if you don't. He did used to always try to eat the cat though, and I always thought that was kind of funny. I did enjoy Alf. I used to actually love watching the show. He's pretty funny. I probably was too young to understand all the references, but I used to love it. And I guess maybe if you've never watched it because you're younger, maybe try it out. I mean, it's gonna be probably like really crappy quality, but it was good. It was good.
Makes them look like Alf's illegitimate child. I realize that's a dated reference, so here's Alf and here's a saiga. You see it too, right?
Yeah,
Now you might be
definitely
wondering,
see it,
can
though.
that nose be used to amplify mating calls and increase their chances with females who sexually select for bigger noses? And you're absolutely right, they do use their noses to amplify mating calls and increase their
Oh.
chances with females who sexually select for bigger noses. Cause size queens come in many forms. And
Size does matter. Okay, okay, fair enough. These are kind of cute though. I like them.
and increase their chances with females who sexually select for bigger noses. Cause size queens come in many forms. And speaking of female validation, eligible bachelors will run fades with each other using those horns in order to gain control of a harem. Unfortunately, those horns can
Oh.
get them laid and laid to rest, since saigas have been victims of poaching, and that and disease and habitat loss
Oh,
nearly has this
no.
Narnia goat's entire population in the gulag. Today, they're critically endangered and found only one place in the world, in the dry grasslands and semi-deserts of Central Asia. But that's too depressing, so here's a
Oh.
baby saiga.
Oh, these are babies. Oh, I love this. Oh, they're so cute.
Dry grasslands and semi-deserts of Central Asia. But that's too
Look at it. Oh, hello, little baby. You're adorable. Hopefully, they can come back and, grow their population because I don't want to see them extinct. They're cool. These ones are cool.
Depressing. So here's a baby Saiga. Now here's two baby Saigas. But you
Aw.
want to know what's even more depressing? There's a good percentage of the population that doesn't realize that narwhals are real. Yeah, we didn't make
Oh yeah, that is true. I do remember seeing something about narwhals and people thought they they didn't exist. And like no, I'm pretty sure they do. And then I thought I was crazy that I didn't think they existed. And so yes, now this makes me feel better.
those up. They really do be out here swimming in the ocean, causing a
Yeah.
commotion, because they're just so awesome. It's an aquatic unicorn, except that horn is actually a giant inside-out tooth with millions of nerve endings. We used to think that narwhals use this single tooth overbite for violence, but with how sensitive it is, it's much more likely that it just tells the whale about the world around it, similar to cat whiskers. Also, that tooth is flexible and they can bend it a foot in any direction, and I didn't even know that until this video. One reason we don't
I didn't know that either. I didn't even know that that's what it was, honestly. I thought it was more like just like a horn or like defense type deal, but it's more like whiskers. That's yeah, I definitely didn't know that. I totally thought it was just a horn.
is flexible and they can bend it a foot in any direction, and I didn't even know that until this video. One reason we don't know more about them is because narwhals are painfully shy introverts that can legitimately get
Oh,
flatlined by panic attacks. When narwhals
oh
get pressed or
no.
stressed, their heart rates will slow all the way down to 3 to 4 beats a minute. A slow heart rate is great for swimming in ice water all day, but a heart deciding to work part-time while you're fighting for your life is a good way to see the gates. And with a
Yeah.
crippling fear of people, human interaction can put nature's anxiety whale on life support. But even this
Oh,
high-strung struggle
the poor animals. Can you imagine having that? Like, I mean, anxiety sucks, but the fact that it could potentially, end you that's sad for these guys. Poor guys.
of people, human interaction can put nature's anxiety whale on life support. But even this high-strung struggle cetacean has an unlikely friend. In 2016, scientists noticed a male narwhal traveling with a pod of beluga whales, and ever since
Oh,
then, they've
wow.
watched him run with the belugas like he was one of their own. But there's a good chance this is more than just a friend situation, because Narluga isn't a ship name, it's the result of a beluga and a narwhal hooking up and creating a hybrid. Which they
Oh,
can do, since somehow an eternal extrovert and a whale with a literal self-destruct setting for social interaction are related. Speaking of related, you know how I said the main wolf isn't actually a wolf or a fox? Well, I can give you 100 tries. You'll never guess this deer dog's closest canine cousin. And that's
no.
because it's an animal a lot of y'all probably didn't even know existed. And that would be the South American bush dog.
Oh, bush dogs. I know of bush dogs from playing some Soul Mask. But that's about all I know. They are so angry cute looking though.
Even though they look like that meme of 5'11 versus 6 foot. We all have that brother, sister, or cousin we swear stole height from us. Evidently, the maned wolf took all the legs in the family and turned the bush dog into an ankle biter. I can only make this joke so many times, but if you took one look at them and thought they were a wolverine or an undercooked bear or even a really confused Tasmanian devil, nobody would blame you.
This is true. They do kind of look like that whole mixture. I love how grumpy they look though. I love this little grumpy face. I love that. These are adorable.
Wolverine or undercooked bear or even a really confused Tasmanian devil, nobody would blame you. Especially since for a while we thought this weasel beagle went extinct. It took a few years for us to realize they didn't get discontinued and even longer to put them in the canine club. Bush
Oh.
dogs live in packs and they're kind of like the African wild dogs of the Amazon. But instead of running prey down on land, bush dogs would rather ambush ops in water, which they're really good at thanks to webbed feet, their ability to dive, but most importantly, the power of friendship. They usually go for small rodents, birds, lizards, and the occasional capybara. But bush dogs have been on record murking a tapir after chasing it around for hours.
Oh
The same
wow.
tapir that can weigh about 2 prime shacks at nearly 700 pounds. Yeah, the
That's actually really impressive if they took this down, but teamwork makes the dream work. I wonder how big their packs are. I wonder how many are left too.
for hours. The same tapir that can weigh about 2 prime shacks at nearly 700 pounds. Yeah, the power of friendship. Finding one bush dog, let alone a whole pack, is veteran level difficulty, but if you happen to be walking through the jungle and smell salad, you might just get lucky, because the scent signature they mark their territory with gives a strong
It's
impression
salad.
of vinegar. But since it can
Oh.
fold a several hundred-pound horse cow, luck might not be the right word. You need more than luck to catch this cat. The clouded leopard is so secretive and so introverted that we honestly don't know a whole
Aw.
lot about them. We do
It's beautiful though. This little cat's beautiful. Oh, it's so cute.
You know that they easily earn gold medal for tree climbing, even for a cat. They can rotate their ankles 180 degrees, which means
Oh.
unlike most other cats, clouded leopards can climb down a tree head first. They'll even cross a branch upside down for no other reason but to flex. In fact, their entire existence is a flex. It's widely believed that this overcast kitty diverged from the common ancestor of the pantheran cats up to 9 million years ago. Not only does that make them the most ancient species of cat alive today, it also makes them a living fossil. You see,
That's true. Oh wow. What a evolution and that they're still here. They're gorgeous.
not only does that make them the most ancient species of cat alive today, it also makes them a living fossil. You see, on the left is the skull of a clouded leopard, and on the right is the headpiece of Smilodon, aka a prehistoric predator of the saber-tooth variety. In fact, clouded leopards often get called the modern-day saber-tooth because they have the longest canine teeth of any cat relative.
Oh yeah, look at those teeth. Yeah, they got some big old teeth.
Clouded leopards often get called the modern-day saber-tooth because they have the longest canine
Wow.
teeth of any cat relative to body size. That's longer than lions, tigers, and even the Cayman's paralysis demon, the jaguar. Also, despite its name, it's not technically a leopard, and while you could call it the smallest of big cats, scientists widely believe that the clouded leopard is actually the link between big cats and small cats. Big cats referring to
Oh,
lions,
okay.
tigers, jaguars, leopards, and snow leopards, which also aren't even real leopards either, and small cats being the rest, like cheetahs,
Snow leopards aren't really real leopards. What? The animal world is so confusing sometimes.
leopards and snow leopards, which also aren't even real leopards either, and small cats being the rest, like cheetahs, pumas, ocelots, and of course domestic cats. Also, it's not really a size thing, it's more like big cats can roar but can't purr, and small cats can purr but can't roar. Clouded leopards
Ah.
can't do either, instead they do this.
I love it. I
I
love
hope that made
that.
sense. I feel like that got complicated, and it gets even
I mean, it makes sense and it doesn't, right? Like it's such a wild world it is of what can roar and what can purr, or like it's animals are crazy.
I hope that made sense. I feel like that got complicated. And it gets even more complicated with this next animal. Because what do a manatee, a dugong, and an elephant all have in common?
The hyrax.
They end up at the same family reunion as the rock hyrax.
Yeah.
That's right, this African boulder gerbil, this
I got one right. I got one right. I finally know one.
marmot from the motherlands, is cousins with the biggest thing on earth with legs. The hyrax is also clade mates with
I love
aardvarks,
them.
elephant shrews, and tenrics. It makes less sense the harder you think about it. Although in their defense, hyraxes have the same tusks that elephants do, but like with the maned wolf and the bush dog, someone had to get the short end. And did they ever? Hyraxes also can't really control their body temperature, despite that being one of the first rules of being a mammal. So to fight the fact that nature made them as close to cold-blooded as a mammal can get, hyraxes spend most of their time basking in the sun. I used to think they were
Aw.
just chill like that, but apparently chill is exactly what they're trying to avoid. Also, they make a sound that's almost a guaranteed trip to therapy if you ever hear it in person. I'm not gonna do this for every animal, but I couldn't not add this.
I would say that it's cute when you see it in this context, but can you imagine hearing this and not being able to see it? That would probably be a little scary. And then all along it was just this little guy.
This thing has more in common with mammoths than it does with hamsters. I want that to sink in. And the only thing arguably more unbelievable than that is whales and dolphins being the closest living relatives of hippos. At this point, nothing really needs to be said. We all know
Right.
hippos are homicidal demon pigs with the temperament of a landmine. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're only Google famous the same way Logan Paul was back in 2017. If you know, you know. But what a lot of people don't know
I don't know. I have absolutely no idea because I don't follow the Logans.
they're only Google famous the same way Logan Paul was back in 2017. If you know, you know.
Oh,
But
the
what a lot of
Pauls.
people don't know is the tiny travel-sized version that lives today. The pygmy hippo is 5 times smaller and half as tall as their murderous cousins. They're also forest animals, solitary and naturally shy, and they're much less of a threat to humanity. Just don't go
Aw.
and tell them that. You know,
It's
this one's name is
Boudin.
Sweet Pork.
Sweet pork, is that? I love all those videos though, where it's like attack is 100 but 0 damage.
Threat to humanity. Just don't go and tell them that. You know, this one's name is Sweet Pork. I'm not even making that up. Like basically every other animal, they can be on demon timing if you push them enough. But clearly the aquatic oppression horse stole all their ill will, cause no shot could you slap one dead in the face and not end
Oh.
up dead with no trace. Huh.
Oh,
Well, I'm not afraid to admit
oh.
when I'm wrong. Now, you've definitely heard of this next animal before. It's just that the last time you probably did, Chris Rock and Jada Smith were on speaking and not slapping terms. And of course, we're talking about Madagascar's top predator and a bane to lemurs everywhere, the fossa. Although with its spelling, I'm pretty
Fusa.
sure it's actually fossa, but the damn
Fusa Fossa. I don't know this one. This one's cool
lemurs
looking though.
everywhere, the fossa. Although with its spelling, I'm pretty sure it's actually fossa, but the day I pronounce it like that is the day I lay my childhood to rest. The fossa's pretty much a Madagascar mongoose. And if you know how psychotic mongoose
Oh.
are, you'll understand why the lemur population treated them like terrorists. But one thing I never realized because of the movie is they're not that much bigger than the lemurs they eat. And they have the same flexible exorcist ankles as the clouded leopard, meaning trees are pretty much their
Oh, they're like kind of slinky. They're kind of slinky little guys. They're cool though.
lemurs they eat. And they have the
I've
same
never
flexible
heard of this
exorcist
one.
ankles as the clouded leopard, meaning trees are pretty much their home court, especially since they have tails longer than a Monday to keep balance. Fossas also have, I'm gonna say, interesting mating practices, and once again, I want to stay monetized, so I'm not gonna step in that minefield.
Oh
Just know that
God.
if you follow a female fossa long enough, you might not hear the choo-choo, but you will see a train. And while it's usually lemurs taking the L, as apex predators, this monkey cat murks anything that doesn't cook them first. Sometimes they'll even work together, with one climbing a tree to scare prey onto the ground where the partner can retire their will to live. Not bad. Also, I know you see that flex. But there's no bigger flex than this next animal soloing the
It's
US
true.
Navy. Back in the 70s, US nuclear submarines were forced to fall back after they took damage to the rubber neoprene layer covering the sensitive sonar domes. This compromised their navigation, and at first people were rushing to the conclusion that the commies had gotten one over on them. What actually happened was that out of the over 500 species of sharks, the US Navy managed to get griefed by one of the smallest. The cookie cutter shark is only about 1.5 feet, and these giant killers feed on some of the biggest animals in history for a living. They got their name because this parasite will swim up to a whale and then use its jaws to slice out a perfectly circle-shaped
My God, look at the teeth on this thing. Cookie cutter shark. I don't think I've heard of this one either. This is a very unflattering angle of it though. I'm just saying. But holy, those
They got their
teeth are
name because
crazy
this
though.
parasite will swim up to a whale and then use its jaws to slice out a perfectly circle-shaped piece of flesh. It doesn't kill them, but the sea hickey it leaves behind is for life. It's like a parasite tramp stamp. And it's not just whales, anything from seals to killer whales to even other sharks can get it. On rare occasions,
Oh
even
my
some
God.
humans find out the bitey way. In the 80s, up to 30 US
Okay, this one looks a little scary. This looks like something out of a cartoon or something. Like they don't even
on
look
rare
real.
occasions, even
Like this one, like I'm guessing this is like not a lot, like it's not like a fresh one, but still it looks crazy.
Even some humans find out the bitey way. In the 80s, up to 30 US submarines allegedly took damage from the cookie
Oh
cutter's
wow.
dentin, to the point where the only solution was a fiberglass coating. We always talk about great whites, tiger sharks, bull sharks, but none of them can say they successfully committed hit and runs on a superpower's navy, and with a resume like that, they definitely deserve to get talked about more. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. If you learned something from this video, kindly consider checking out my book, 100 Animals That Can Effing End You. Link in the description if you're interested. And if you knew all 10 of these animals already, you have my respect. Drink water, get sun, hug your moms, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Hey, babies. You got 500,000 people that love you.
Aww.
Yeah. See, you got 500,000 people that
Oh,
love
I
you.
love it.
Yeah. Say thank you.
Aw, I thought this was great. I really love this video. So many interesting facts, and there's definitely I would say like majority of them on this list I didn't know about. I feel like the only one I knew was the hyrax. Oh, and the narwhals, but I mean that kind of I kind of like on the fence with that one. So this video was great. Loved it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys being here. Be sure to go and subscribe to Casual Geographic. He makes awesome, awesome videos. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.